Lebanon's Hezbollah sees major, dangerous change in Syria. Reuters. Hezbollah played a major part propping up Assad through years of war in Syria, before bringing its IGHTERS back to Lebanon over the last year to fight in a bruising war with Israel. A redeployment hitch weakened Syrian government lines. His downfall has stripped Hezbollah of a vital ally along Lebanon's eastern border. Below are your comments. With Syria having been overtaken by Iran's enemies, the local chapter of Hezbollah is on the run, or have already run away to their mothership. Now that the weapons supply routes from Iran to Lebanon through Syria have been cut, and the Lebanon say Hezbollah severely hurt, if the Lebanese government and people are really intent on reclaiming our country from Iran's tentacles, it's finally doable. It's within their power to eliminate every last member of that terrorist group, throw their support out of the country, and begin to rebuild. Should the Lebanese ignore this incredibly rare opportunity, it will haunt them forever. Yes, a very dangerous change for Hezbollah itself, as a Syria hostile to both Iran and Hezbollah means their supply route from Iran has now been cut off. Iran now needs to resupply Hezbollah by sea through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, which can easily be monitored by Israel and intercepted. But the main blow is to the political party arm of Hezbollah in Lebanon called the Loyalty to the Resistance Party, together with the Amal Shia Party with others have formed the March 8 Alliance, which is a loose coalition that was supported heavily by Assad and Iran. It has. With the demise of Assad, this coalition will now surely fracture, with Hezbollah severely weakened, as the Lebanese political landscape will now shift away from the Hezbollah Shia domination and to a more moderate Sunni and Christian coalition. Hezbollah now will have to win the ballots the hard way without their guns and cash. Sunnis and Shias will fight endlessly in the Middle East. Our simple goal should be to let them fight, stay out of the way, and eliminate any extremist batches that threaten our interests here at home. If Hezbollah thinks that the change in Syria is dangerous, then the change in Syria must be a very good thing for the rest of us. Basically, Hezbollah is out of options. They lost their easy passage for weapons from Iran at the worst time imaginable for them. They better follow to the exact letter the terms of the ceasefire agreement, because giving Israel a reason to continue the war will be the end of them. What does it say when Hezbollah is the major supporter of an inhuman regime like Assad's? Some defender of Arab rights? Of course they do. They now face the consequences of supporting Bashar al-Assad and their theocratic masters in Iran. See and protect them, as they are also under fire at home and abroad. What is happening in Syria is a major, dangerous and new transformation. This is a pretty accurate statement, as the situation is fairly unstable and nobody knows what exactly will happen to the Russi and bases. What we do know is Russia and Iran, with all of its proxies, lost a valuable ally in the region. Hopefully, it continues to weaken. The people on here trying to twist themselves into pretzels in order to still paint Israel as the bad guy is hysterical. The whole region is one Arab civil war against the other. Israel simply wants to live in peace without being attacked by one terrorist group or the other. The people defending literal terrorist groups are insane. No kidding. Hezbollah exists solely to bleep Jews and destroy Israel, but their patrons, allied with Syria, DEMA, NDED Hezbollah served to protect Assad for the last decade, which is where much of their forces went. A terrorist group whose only aim is to destroy will not last long without the support of major backers. They still have Iran's backing, but this may be difficult if the supply route through Syria is cut off. The Syrian rebels and most of the Syrian people see Hezbollah and Iran as deadly enemies, so, hopefully, they won't be cooperating with them for a while. I think it's just a matter of which terrorists are better. The Hezbollah, Iran Shia extremist or the HTS Sunni extremist. Now the HTS leader is saying all the right things now, but let's see 6 months from now. That's rich. Hezbollah complaining that the new people might be violent and that they are concerned about that. Lebanon should disband Hezbollah by force. Israel should strike Iran's nuclear facilities. Syria should partner with Jordan and Lebanon against Shia extremism. The Syrian rebels should remember who kept Assad in power. But, if the Syrians were smart, they would try to be a neutral country in the Middle East and concentrate on rebuilding their country. They have oil and could eventually be self-sufficient. Think people think. The changes in Syria are only dangerous to Iran and its flunky proxies. It is going to make it harder for Iran to send weapons to the terrorists now. Syria is celebrating the overthrow of an Alawite, Shia dictator by fundamentalist Sunni fanatics. I wish I could share their optimism, but this is probably just a rebranded ISIS and I doubt it's going to end well for the country's minorities. Hezbollah sees a dangerous change? They are a danger to the world themselves. That's a bit ironic. If Hezbollah is denouncing Syrian rebels, then they must be doing something good. They'd only oppose them if they were modest, wanted a democracy, or don't align with their jihadist agenda. Assad was not sustainable. He only stayed in power by being propped up by Russia. It was only a matter of patience. This is a perfect time for Israel, the Syrian insurgents, and the Lebanese army to come to an agreement about getting rid of Hezbollah once and for all. Give the Lebanese army a time limit to go after Hezbollah and dismantle them. If not, Israel from the south and these insurgents in Syria can push from the north to clear our Hezbollah and be done with it completely. Politics in Syria, Lebanon change faster than the weather. Even after Assad gone, nothing good will come out of it. These two countries have too many parties that want to be in control. I remember people cheering when Saddam fell and Gaddafi. Both those countries are still hot messes a decade later. Their idea of a major, dangerous change is not having a place to hide and fire missiles into Israel. It would be awesome if the overthrow of Assad led to a governing body concerned with the prosperity of Syrians. They certainly deserve it. However, history shows, recent and old, that these kind of folks who have conquered typically don't care about that. Maybe in another 1,000 years Islam will come out of the Dark Ages. Nothing short of Gaza's unconditional surrender. The Gazans are still. This is a war crime and Israel needs to finish off Hamas. A ceasefire means Israel surrenders. Israel needs to defeat Gaza and put an end to this evil if it wants to live in peace. They are an independent nation not subject to the UN or the United States. They need to do what they need to do regardless of the cost to the citizens of Gaza. Their response does not have to be proportionate. It is going to take a lot of bombs and unfortunately, civilian casualties. It is all part of war. That is why you should not start wars. That is why you should not start wars. Famine and civilian casualties are all part of war. Gaza and Lebanon are still targeting Israeli civilians with rockets in violation of international law. Then Israel gets to draw up the new borders and occupy. Sorry, conservatives will be sitting out the next wars. Until we have free speech, fair elections, an equal system of justice, secure borders and Democrat ASCISTS quit demonizing conservative Christians, we will need to have Democrat men, women and other handle the next war. Hard to believe the news that Russia will keep its naval base. Lol, isn't that too bad? The Hezbollah terrorists don't like what's happening in Syria. Let me explain it. Israel decimated Hezbollah. Iran told Hezbollah to go save Assad and Hezbollah said, with what? They have lost almost all of their missiles, their leadership, their frontline soldiers. Hezbollah as a fighting force is just a memory. Once the Lebanese people understand, maybe Lebanon can finally find some peace. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.